Hello everybody, welcome to the second tutorial of C# and SQL Server Connectivity. In the last tutorial we built some database, a simple database, one table, that we added some records, and we built a small program to view our data in C#. In this tutorial we want to insert a record in the SQL Server data table. Again, you saw I did it by my hand, by typing. I added some records to it, but now I want to do it using command. Then I want to use the same command in C#. Okay, we saw this record. I just want to go down and I show you another SQL command which is called insert. And insert is always followed by into my table, then two of these parentheses, then I mention the fields. Fields is one of them is first name, last name, and phone number, and the last one is address. You see, I mentioned in the last tutorial that do not use is, I don't mean do not, but it is preferred not to use the reserved address, reserved variable names. Address is reserved by SQL. You see, it turns to blue. Everything turns to blue is reserved. So let's follow the command. Let's continue the command, and you see what happens if I use that one. Then I call values, I write values, again parentheses, and values of the fields, but it should be in order. The first one is goes to first name, the second one goes to last name, and third one and fourth one. Remember, we built a table with some fields, and all of them are varchars. So it means kind of a string thing. So a string goes into single quotes, two single quotes in SQL Server. You know, in other languages goes into double quote, but here in SQL Server, single quotes. So I add a name, then I add a last name and phone number and address. So let's enter some name, for example, John, I don't know, John something, I don't know, John something, phone number and address someplace. Okay. If I execute this one, it executes this one and this one. If I want to execute only this one, I just select this thing and I do that. Simply it adds another record, but I never tested this one on the SQL Server 2005. On the older versions it generates an error and you have to put some brackets around it, but in the SQL 2005 there is no problem. So if I refresh this one, you will see the another record pops up, John something, this number and this thing. So if I run the same command in the C# and send it to the SQL with these kind of data, so it should add something. It should add the record I want. So that's fine. Let's go back to C# and add a record. Let's do our tutorial or insert tutorial in another form. And let's figure out how to add another form and how to go from one form to other form and come back again to the same form. Okay, I add one button, I double click on it, it comes here and I can drag it down here, and I call this one BTN. I change the name to BTN add. That's fine. It's And I use this kind of prefix from btn. It shows me it's a button, and I'm using auto member list, it's much easier to find. So let's make it a little bigger and change the text to add. Okay, fine. No, I need another form. Let's add another form to our project and use it for inserting data. Okay, I add a file. Okay, let's do it another way, easier way. I just right click here on my Solution Explorer and I add a Windows form. I don't want to go through those things, so it's much easier to do this way. Just right click on your solution, add Windows form. It's much easier in this way. Then I call this one frm add a record. This is fine. I don't want to make it bigger. Okay, our form is ready now. We can do our things in it. Okay. Let's design a nice user interface to insert some records. Okay, I need some label. I add one label to it and I align it here. I align this one here. Okay, let's have some space. Another one. This is for first name, last name, phone number, and the last one for address. It's fine. Okay. If you want to make sure all of them have same space, same distance from each other, so just select all of them. You see one of them is white, the other dots are black. So I click on this one. I want to make this one as aligned reference. So I can come to formats, align, and you can use make same size. You can align left. I align all of them to the left. Horizontal spacing and vertical spacing. I make it equal. So now you see they line up. The other thing I need is some text box. I can find it here. I add it here. You see these lines, the guidelines. I can align it to the labels. Okay, let me give it some more space because I want to add something in it. So it needs more space. Okay. And where's the last one? I just double click on them. They will be on the form. So this one I change the text property to first name. This one I change it to last name. The other one is phone number, of course. Phone number, and the last one is of course the address. Okay, fine. Let's make it a little bigger and let's align it to the other side. Okay, all of them are fine except the address field. The address field is not okay. If the address was bigger than this one, it makes some problems, so it's much better to make it a multi-line one. How can I make it multi-line? I just click on this arrow, I make it multi-line, then I can resize it to the size I want. This is fine enough. But again, if your text box becomes, your address becomes much bigger than this one, it becomes again some problem. So it's better to have some scroll bars here. It's very simple. I just click on it and I have scroll bars here. Scroll bars, and I select the vertical one. I want the vertical one to be here. Okay. I change the text, form text, to add a new record. again, I do all of those things I did for the last one. I want to make it a fixed size, so I make it a fixed single one. Then I make it I change the maximum bytes property to false. If you double click on this kind of true and false, they change the value. Okay, that's fine, it works now. Then I want one button to accept or the insert or some kind of these kind of things. Let's change the name to btn inserts, and the name, the text value will be for example safe. Okay, now I have everything. Let's change these names to better names. For example, I change this one txt name, this one to txt last name, this one txt phone, and this one txt addr. That's it. Now I want to have some connection to my database. So again, I come down. No, I don't add this one. This one time I just add SQL connection and a SQL command. Okay, SQL connection, again, it needs connection string, the thing you saw we did the last time. I do it from here, new one. You can it stores the last things you use, but I want to make it to review it and make a new one. Again, same window, I use a dot, then I go to my databases, my contacts, test the connection, and okay, it's fine, I just accept it. Okay, that's it. The command one, the connection should be assigned to existing one and SQL connection one. Okay. Another thing is the SQL connection one from this form, this class, is different from this class. In each class you can have same object with same names, no problem at all. They don't have any conflict with each other. This one is completely different from this one. So the only thing I added was SQL connection to my command, and everything is fine. Or I want to have the other settings, and this time we have to add more codes to our project. So like last tutorial, I just double click on the save button to go to the code. Okay, this means this function means every time I click on this one, I click on the btn insert, this function will be executed. That's it. So what should I do? First, I need to assign this command to my SQL command. So I write SQL command one dot command text equals to this. Okay, let's copy and paste all of the thing from here and paste it here. Okay, I paste it inside this one. Okay, fine. Okay, but the thing is, either I have to make it one line, or in this way it doesn't work. So I have to do something about it. Because I like it this way, I want to have it in 2 lines. So I just add an @ sign here, and then it becomes okay. So I can do it even more than 2 lines. So now it's much easier. Now I want to have my text from here. I want to put this text from here instead of John, the other one, last name. I want to put it here, and to the end, all of these things. So What can I do? I double click on John, then I do this, then two pluses, and I write text box, I'm sorry, txt, I changed it to txt name dot text. Okay, it's not bad to add a dot stream one and two parentheses. It means if my user adds one space from the in the beginning or at the end, I don't want to store it in my database, so it's better to trim it to get rid of those blank spaces. So I don't want them. And remember, trim is a function. Every time you call a function, you have to use these two parentheses, even though you don't want to send it a variable. So it should be there always. Again, I remove this one. I add two quotes, two double quotes, and two pluses. Then txt last name dot text dot trim and two of this. Again, this one I add two of them again. Then txt phone dot text dot trim. That's it. txt address dot text dot string. Okay, this is okay now. It works well now. Remember, any thing that you want to use as a string in C#, you have to use double quotes, not single quotes like SQL. So this will be my command. So how can I use this command? So for using the command, I have to execute it. SQL command 1 dot execute non-query is the method you want to use. Non-query means it returns nothing, just although it returns something, but I don't want to talk about it. But it means I don't want to read some data. I just want to send a command and I send some data to it, and I want to, for example, insert, I want to delete, I want to update, I don't want to select. So but this doesn't work now. So it needs the connection. Connection should be open in the time I want to execute this line. I want my connection to be open. So I write SQL connection 1 dot open, again these parentheses, and after running this command, executing this command, I want to execute, after execution I want to close. So I want to release the network resource I get from the SQL, and SQL counts the connections and handles as many connections as you specify to it. So whenever I don't use the connection, I want to close it. Okay, I close it. So this should work. Okay, let's run it. I want to first run this one first. So I need to change my project. If I run it now, it shows me the first form. So I don't want it. I want to start with the second one. So let's change it. In C# you have something called program.cs. I double click on it, it shows me something like this. Then instead of form 1, I mention another thing. Instead of form 1, I say frm add. That's it. Then if I run it, it shows me the second form. Okay, let's close this one and let's add something to SQL, some record. Okay, I write name also. I really have problems with these names. I don't need to, I don't know what kind of name should I mention. Okay, let's find some name. Okay, it's called, for example, this time George. I don't know. It's okay or no, it's wrong or not. George of the jungle, maybe. Jungle. Okay, let's have some spaces here. I want to show you that the train works. Okay, phone number something, and my address. Okay, then I save it. Okay, let's go back, run it, and I have this thing, and you see there is no spaces in the beginning. There is no blank spaces, characters here. So it works well. It works well, and everything is fine. Okay, now we want to continue with it, but I want to call this form from the other form. So I want to get back to the form of form 1. I want to get back to the form 1, and I want to call this one from the other form. Okay, where are you? This one. Okay, I want to click on this one. The other form pops up. Then I want to do the things here, and I want to see everything here. So I just right click here. No, here I need some different things. I have to build an instance of the other form. So that's simple, it's not that hard. So I write just the class name, frm add, a variable name, for example frm add equals to new frm add and 2 parentheses and this one. That's it. Then I can use this simple command frm add dot show. That's it. These 2 lines of code shows me the other form. But still I have some problem. Here this form is not modal, it's not a dialog. I can go back to this form, I can forget this one, but I want user to first finish with this form and go back to the other form. So it's better to do other things. So I write simply instead of show, I write show dialog. Where is it? Show dialog. Okay, it was control space. If you want to this automatic list pops up, you press control and space. Okay, show dialog is much better. Okay, let's run this one again. Here I add this one. No, it is modal. I want to add something. I do it fast. I don't want to think about it an hour again. Okay, save. No, what happened? Nothing happens actually in the user interface. At least something adds to the database, but nothing happens here. My user doesn't understand what's going on. So it's better to close this form after I add the data to the database. So I go back to my frm add this one, then after this one I write this, that's close. That's it. This works well now. Again I add something to it. No, it goes back, but nothing appears here. My data is same as the other one before the insertion. No, I have here this one, but I don't have it here. So, but if I close the form and run it again, so it appears here now again. Now it appears here, but what's the problem? You remember we added this line of code in the form load that to fill the database. This time after we insert something, we have to refill the data set again after this. So let's call this one about the frm add that show dialog. When the program reaches here, stops here and waits for the other form. Let me prove this one for you. I just put a gutter. I click on my gutter here. I add a breakpoint. Whenever program reaches here, it stops. So I can prove it here that the program makes us to finish with that form, the form add form, then runs this one. So it should work well. Okay, let's do it first without the breakpoint, and then we go back to breakpoint. Okay, no, I add another one. Here BBV is the last one, so I add this one, another thing, a number, and some kind of these things. Okay, no, I have my record here. Okay, but you remember it fills it again, and my other records is still there. So this doesn't work again. I don't want this. I want to have my to refresh all of my data without having the other records again. I don't want to duplicate. Don't want duplicated things. You see, I have earth and I have earth here. So I don't want it. I want to, but I have the last record here. Okay, so first I have to. Okay, so I want to do that. I write dataset 11.mytable.clear. This clears my dataset before I reload it. So I do that. This time I add something, for example, again my new record and something again on this one. I save it. This time it comes here without any problem. So thanks for watching this video. I welcome questions in the comments, and I will see you in the third tutorial.